these thoughts and ideas out that may feel shame about been affecting me for 10 years. I didn't even realize it.
That's
I
why
mean,
we're
how
lucky
society.
though to be able to say what you think, but also then to get other people in on the conversation. It's so
Yeah,
fucking fun.
there's a lot of wild that happens to black people in America that you see enough of it with you. I can't watch any more police shootings.
Is it the fact that it's happening still to this day?
It's the fact that we can go on YouTube right now and see at least probably 30.
One of my first jokes I ever wrote, you can't kill black people, kill Asians, kill anyone. You can't pick the same person to kill forever. Pick a new person. You can still kill people because, hey, we underpay you and treat you like
Yeah.
Nobody has respect for police. What do you expect? They're going to get their revenge somehow. Can we
I have-
take a second just to appreciate weed?
Oh, yeah.
It's such a pleasure to light and to smoke.
Yeah. Man, because if it
The
wasn't for weed, I'd be
altered-
an alcoholic.
Probably true for me too.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the OG Pod. Today I'm here with Jordan MacDonald.
Yo, what's up? Peace, love, and soul. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy to talk to you, man. We met over a year ago, I think.
Oh, yeah. We met a long time ago. It's been
Yeah.
over a year and a half, probably.
And you have been grinding on comedy here in Austin, which is the best place on earth to do it. We got the mothership opening
it
up.
really is, yo. Yeah, it's been crazy. I got here July 2021. I was doing comedy in Atlanta a little bit, and I was looking for more stage time because this was around June 2021 when I was in Atlanta doing comedy. There's about 4 mics a week during that time, and I was looking for a place to get on stage more. And then I saw like news articles and news reports about Austin comedy popping up, and I was like, oh, I used to live in Austin. I got friends in Austin. I know
Oh yeah?
that city. Yeah. I've been
Nice.
in and out the city since 2011, so
Oh cool.
I'm very familiar. So when I saw comedy was popping off out here, I grabbed all my things and jumped back out here, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, man, it's grown fast. I mean, I didn't
Super
even do it.
fast.
I'm like officially a fan at this point,
Yeah.
but I love seeing everything that is emerging.
Yeah, comedy has never been this popular in Austin ever, and it's honestly like really insane to be a part of and to just watch how much it's growing and how fast it's growing too, because I haven't been to New York yet for comedy or Chicago, but I started in LA, and I've been to cities like Portland and Denver.
You were just in Portland.
Yeah, I was just in Portland, did a festival out there and did another run of shows, but everybody's looking at Austin as like, oh damn, you're in Austin, like
It's because we got the vibe, dude.
yeah. Everybody wants to get out here that's
Yeah.
doing comedy. Everybody that I meet
Or is a fan of comedy, or is a
Mhm.
fan of like the community of comedy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like it's really like special, and it feels pretty magical to not only watch it but be one of the people that's in it, and
We're lucky in that way.
booking shows and doing stuff in the city and outside of the city.
Yeah, man. I do think there is something unique happening, and it's hard to say fully what it is. I like to say it's the cult of Rogan, but
It really is, yo. I mean, that was the the domino. That
Yeah.
was that he was the
but
domino
the city's
effect.
always been freaking cool.
Yeah, it's always been a cool city, but in regards to comedy, it was one of those really smaller comedy scenes, a few mics. I never did comedy out here prior to moving out here back in July 2021, but I was familiar with a little bit of the comedy scene out here, and I had went to open mics just to watch. I wasn't I didn't feel like I was ready to start performing myself yet, but it never was this big ever. I mean, just in downtown Austin, within a 3-mile radius, there's at least like 10 places to do comedy,
How many dedicated places? There's 3,
Uh,
Vulcan Creek
You got
and
Vulcan,
and Mothership.
Creek, now Mothership, which is about to open up, Velveeta,
Velveeta.
East Austin Comedy Club.
I've never been there.
Oh, it's wonderful. They do
Yeah.
awesome shows. Raza, shouts out to Raza Joffrey and Andre Riggs. They were doing something really fucking special.
They do shows every night, or
Except for Sunday and Monday, I believe, are the only 2 nights that they don't do shows. But Tuesday through Saturday, it's nonstop shows, and they're really good shows. The shows sell really well. The crowds are always fun. It's a very intimate room, low ceilings, very sexy. It has a bunch of like red velvet curtains and stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's super
It's gotta
duper
be
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Good aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic is nice. But there's so many places are open to doing comedy now because they're seeing how popular it is in the city, and that equals a lot of stage time and a lot of time to work and really create really good sets and polish your sets and really do the comedy, the work part of being a comedian.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I feel like comics just want to hang out and get high,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
which
them
is
is,
what's
and a
cool
lot
about
of
podcasting.
people, can get caught up into that, and it is somewhat a part of it. You got to hang out, you got to meet people, you got to know
Yeah,
people, you got to talk to
yeah,
people.
yeah,
It's a lot of networking, and who doesn't like to smoke a joint, and
yeah,
or drink, a nice drink.
yeah,
But sometimes people can get too caught up in that and forget
yeah.
this is actually a part of the job. Like,
Yes,
we're here to have fun. It's comedy. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun because we're just facilitating laughter.
yes,
Laughter is fun, but it's a business too. And so I make sure for myself personally that I don't forget that and I look at it as
yes.
a full-time job and try to do
Take it
40 hours a week,
seriously. Yeah,
because I mean, if you do 40 hours a week at your company, you're going to grow in the company, you're doing good at
yes.
your job, and dedicating to getting better to your job, you're going to get those promotions. It's the same in comedy, but you're your boss
I
at
was
this
yeah.
point.
That's the
Yeah.
hard part is you're your boss.
Yeah, and so
Until
I
you have fans, then they're your boss.
yeah,
But that's a good
exactly.
that's a good
That
thing.
that's a good that's a
If you have
good
an
thing to have.
audience,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's you gotta you just gotta play the game to the best of your ability, because I'm not here to be a hobbyist, and I'm not here
yeah,
to be an open micer for
yeah,
my entire career. I'm still doing open mics, but not as much as I used to, because I've put the 40 hours a week in every
yeah.
week for since I've started, and it's been really like moving, and I'm like, all right, cool, like let's keep doing it, let's keep moving, let's keep grooving.
It's amazing how much progress you can make when you put 40 hours a week into something. And you've got a few things going. So you got
Yeah,
Tune App with Daniel West.
yeah.
You've got comedy, and you do some skits or
So I've been writing a lot of
acting.
skits and been working on some acting projects with some of my friends out here. Um, I I've been really like focusing on kind of taking all my loves and putting it into stand up, though, because I really love like fashion and clothes and stuff. So I've been kind of treating a lot of my stand up sets almost as if they're a fashion show too. Wear something super duper fly that
Yeah,
gives the audience something really dope to look at, and some really cool,
yeah,
fabrics and stuff like that. And really kind of because comedy's in a rock and roll phase right now, and everybody wants to be a comedian. It's the coolest shit in the world to do right now.
yeah. It's pretty
But
cool.
I want to do my best to be a comedian that is really good not only at stand up, but brings a whole nother flavor to something that was traditionally just kind of like, oh, dress very plainly, and be very like, you don't want to take too much away from the writing
Right.
or whatever
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, no, we're past that. It's not the
Yes.
80s and 90s anymore. Like, we can do
Totally.
way more with comedy. And so
Yes.
I really want to kind of be like that rock star energy in comedy and do something different, but stay true to the craft of stand up, because
Can you tell us more about this?
yeah,
Like
man, I mean,
what how is it changing? Okay, so we have this progression that I've
yeah,
learned from the show, which I
yeah,
didn't know, is you have like back in the day, you ever hear of vaudeville?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So I didn't know what that was, but for people that don't know, it's kind of like slapstick
Yeah,
humor, very much like juggling, clowning around on
yeah.
stage, very much. How would you describe that kind of humor?
I mean, that
Performative?
I feel like that's it's very performative, but I feel like that's like the early era of comedy before.
Early era.
Yeah, the early eras of comedy, because the early era of if you look at Steve Martin's stand up.
Yes. He's like the transition guy
Yeah.
from vaudeville to stand up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like Steve Martin, he's one of the OGs and
Oh,
a legend
absolutely.
in comedy, but at the same time,
And
you're not
acting
going
and
to really see
movies.
somebody doing like Steve Martin type comedy these days, because we're past that.
Right.
It's not going to hit the same at all. There's not
Totally.
going to be, unless it's Steve Martin himself, I feel like there's not going to be a stadium sold out to see a comedian be doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Because the
even
culture moved on.
the culture has moved on. And even with, people, comedians like Richard Pryor, like, I mean, his comedy still slaps today, but at the same time, we're just in such a head. There's been he was, one of the, like, the second after right after Red Fox, like, biggest black comedian on the planet. It
What?
was,
Oh, Red Fox was a black comedian?
yeah, Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. What? You didn't know Red Fox was black?
I didn't even know the name, I guess. I was thinking of,
Yeah,
who
from
were those guys, like, from the '90s, Red and Blue something? I'm
I'm
thinking of
not.
something totally
Yeah, yeah,
different,
yeah. The thing,
Southern,
yeah. I,
but I
I'm,
know the name Red
I'm,
Fox.
yeah. Red. So Red Fox was. I forgot. He was like the '60s. He was before Richard Pryor, and he was for what he was saying back then. It was wild as hell, and he was cursing on stage, and he was smoking a cigarette on stage. Um, and it's interesting with black comedians. Like it used to only be like one was famous at a time. It'd be Red Fox, and then we had Richard Pryor, then we had Eddie Murphy. And but then the '90s came, and then there was a whole like shift within, like black comedy because you had stuff like Def Jam. You had I forgot what the room was called in L.A., but Tuesday night was like the black comedy night, and they were doing crazy shows at I believe it was I'm gonna get this wrong. It was maybe the Comedy Store or the Laugh Factory, but
Right there on Sunset, though.
yeah. But now like we're in a whole different generation of not only black comedians but comedians in general because now you have comedians like Hannibal Buress that really opened up
Yeah,
the world to that
like,
alt black.
what is it?
Well,
What does
because
he do
like
now? Because he's
because
doing music and
well he's doing music, but also like if you just look at Hannibal's stand up when he first was like really blowing up and you watch his specials from the 2010s and stuff.
I haven't seen too much.
um he generally doesn't do super duper well in black audience rooms. But he's a black comedian. He's a comedian who's black, but his humor is not like the Def Jam type energy of comedy. It's very different. It's very goofy. It's very cerebral in a way.
Yeah,
But
I could
he
see
opened
that.
up the door for like we can have black comedians that aren't on like the Def Jam type energy and the whole like kind of hood humor, you know, type stuff. Like there can be comedians like that, and so then that even Eric Andre he opened up the door for that because there's never been a black comedian that's been as extreme as Eric Andre like ever. But now he's opened up that door for more kind of alt. Oh, we can show all different how many different types of black people there are in the world through stand up. We're past like just doing the 90s Def
Yeah,
Jam comedy
yeah.
because now we're in a whole different level and league.
And people want to say, like, this is comedy. It's how it was in the '70s, '80s,
Yeah.
'90s, 2000s, but it's always going to change. It's
Yeah.
always going to
And that's the
evolve.
cool part because the more it changes, the more opportunity there's going to be for different types of people. Because
Yeah,
in comedy, I don't feel like there's any competition. There's no reason for me to compete with anybody because
100%, man.
we're all different
That's so
people.
true.
And just from my cultural background, there's other biracial comedians like Trevor Noah, Eric Andre, but Trevor Noah's South African, apartheid, biracial. Eric Andre, he's Jewish and Haitian, from Florida. And I was raised on a farm by a Vietnam War vet, and my parents were both born in the
Diversity
50s.
helps comedy, and not
Yeah.
diversity in some stupid way where it's like, oh, I need like every one of every skin color.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no, not that.
diversity in ideas,
Yeah.
diversity in
And
experience and
upbringings. Yeah.
upbringings and
And parents
lifestyle
and stuff and
and
siblings and
interests.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
families.
and I feel like the world's become, especially the world of comedy, is becoming way more open to more ideas. And I don't, I, I don't believe in like the whole cancel culture thing, but also I don't really like when comedians are like, "Oh, it's so hard to like say stuff." No, like
Oh,
don't.
comedians have it so easy.
Yeah, like don't be a dickhead. Like don't be an asshole to people.
I
Don't
say I'm a comedy just for the excuse.
Yeah, yeah,
Or a
exactly.
comedian just to like get out of it.
Because you can say stuff that's provocative
Yeah.
that gets people. It gets the people going.
Yeah,
Gets
keep the
it
people going.
gets people's like getting a
Yeah,
reaction and like, oh, like that's making me feel something. I'm laughing, but it's also making me feel something a little bit deeper than
yeah.
just laughter. But there's a lot of whining from comedians. They're like, oh, you can't say anything these days. I say some wild shit on stage, but I say it in a way that's like, I'm not saying this wild shit just to be wild. I'm saying it
Yeah.
because this is actually reality. And I'm doing my best to take this harsh reality and give it to you in a way that's funny, but still showing you how ridiculous and how fucked
Yeah.
up something is.
And that's why there's no competition, because the way that you see something is going to be different than the way I see it.
Yeah, man, bro, anybody can write a joke too. And it's like, I don't do general jokey jokes. Like, all my comedy ties back to who I am as a person because I feel like
That's what it
people
is.
don't know
It's
who I
who
am.
you
I
are.
want people to know who I am, and so if I don't feel like anybody else can really do my jokes like that because they all come from such a personal place and from a place of experience of my own personal experiences, and I mean, I'll go around,
So what inspires your comedy? Like, where
bro,
does
living,
your yeah,
living,
right.
everything about living, everything about doing. That's why I'm
So
very
so
open
what's
to
a day in the
doing
life
stuff.
of Jordan McDonald?
Man, it just depends. Like I'm
Like a
usually
good day,
open.
like a day you're excited for, where you wake up, you're like, "Fucking awesome."
Okay, so I go to a lot of live events. I love going to
Cool.
live events, like live music shows. I've been doing a little more like theater stuff. Um, and so a great day, wake up, smoke a joint, drink some tea.
Yes, yes.
You
Oh, I'm
know,
already there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna start like that. Probably stretch a little bit. Listen to some
Just
music.
chill, get centered.
Yeah, and then I mean, if it's a pretty day like this, ride my bike a little bit,
Yeah,
just go and like get some sun.
yeah.
Um, if I'm not doing a comedy show, I'll look for an event to go to. I love going to concerts and not knowing the band and kind of going in blankly and not looking up any music. Just be like, oh, this seems like something I would like, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And going into a concert
I do
and
that with
jamming
movies.
out. Yeah, I recently went to, well, a few months ago I went to Billy Strings. It's a like a psychedelic country band. I've never heard any of the music. One of the comedy homies invited me, and
Nice.
I wrote probably like 5 minutes worth of material just from going to that concert.
Yeah.
And so I've I've written material from going on dates with chicks. I've written material from I wrote material from being in Portland. And my experiences and what I saw in Portland and stuff. Because every type of everything that exists in life has something to laugh about.
Mhm.
And so even there's stuff that's happened that's been more rough for me recently and like really hard to like digest. And I've written material about it. I won't do it on stage yet. I don't feel comfortable to do it on stage yet, but I've found the funny in, oh, this was a tragic experience. It's kind of, you know, brought a little bit of trauma energy, but I was able to find,
Yeah.
the funny thing, kind of weave that for me to be able to grieve about stuff easier too, and kind of just not feel so intensely about stuff to where then my detrimental thoughts get to me and
Mhm.
I fucking lock myself in my apartment and don't come out and stuff. I'm able to like weave and find the funny, and it's been a good thing and a bad thing. It makes relationships really hard. It ended relationships because I'm comedy brained, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, can you like not can you just take this serious?
Never.
And it's like,
Never.
I mean, yeah, but no,
Yeah, for like 5 seconds or
because I need to
whatever.
laugh. I need to be able to
Yeah.
laugh to like feel sane. I need
Yeah.
I need that laughter and
Well,
finding
it's a
that
big
sense of
release.
joy.
It's a big release, and I think a lot of what is special about creatives, not even comedians, creatives,
Yeah.
is that they're looking at the world different than everyone. They're seeing
Yeah.
things that other people just don't see because other people are caught up in their lives, right? They're playing status games and they're playing um whatever. Like
Yeah.
they're not just watching the world for as it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But a comic is like, self-examining themselves
Yeah, it
ruthlessly.
sucks. Like honestly, sometimes I have moments, and I would honestly wouldn't want to change anything about my life, but I have moments where I'm like, you could just do some normal shit and just, you know, have a house right now, probably have like a kid or two,
Yeah.
have like a car, two
They're
cars.
just piecing it.
Yeah, just
Just
very
have the
easy,
do the
very
life, do
easy.
the plan.
Yeah, and have it, all work out. I know what's happening every year. I could easily do that right now. I have the skill sets to have that type of life and be like pretty like and I'm not to say that I'm not well off right now, but I'm so addicted to this thing of, and it's not like, oh, I want to be famous, or oh, like I want people to know who I am. I just have this weird addiction where I want as many people on the planet to hear my thoughts for whatever reason. I don't know. I can't explain why I have this feeling, but I want people to like hear what's going on in my brain because I feel like if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy.
Well, let's dive in there because I think a lot of people feel that same thing, and not a lot of people, but I feel like a lot of people in entertainment or media
But some people
Um,
can't handle like when people are mean to them about it, when people don't agree with their ideas and opinions. Because there's like a lot of famous people and a lot of comedians I've met really like with a huge, online following, and they've turned their comments off on their videos because people are mean to them.
See,
And
that
so
kind
it's
of
like you
shit is
want,
like you're putting yourself out there. You're going to get
yeah,
paid money for people to watch you.
yeah,
That's the breaks. Like, that's what it costs.
yeah, and I mean, to each their own. I get it, but at the same time, you know, I mean, you can be a comedian and not put anything out.
What do you mean?
Like you
Like
can, like,
specials
I mean, because
or
yeah,
content?
yeah. I mean, there's so many comedians that don't have specials, don't push it out. But what I
They
mean
get
by
paid
that
like
is,
road comics? Like what is it?
yeah, well, like, I mean, there's road comics that I've met that they don't really have a big social media
That's
following. They
crazy to
they
me.
just kind of did it the old school way, and if they do have a social media following, it's not them running their page or whatever. They aren't doing it. But I mean, I feel like if you want to really do it and have because I mean all the Kevin Harts, the Hannibal Burris's, the Trevor Noahs, the Louis C.K.'s, the um Theo Vons, like they probably know that a lot of people don't fuck with them or whatever. But they're who they are because they can handle that.
Yeah,
And I feel like if you can't handle the people
that
being open about, oh, I don't fuck with you,
right.
I don't think you're funny, or I don't like you, or
Yeah,
you seem like a bad person, or all that. If you can't handle all of that, because that's way louder than the good job, I love you, oh my god, you're so good. That's way
that's
louder.
true.
It's way because it hits you harder.
It does.
It hits you, it slaps the shit out of you. Because it's like, oh wait, I'm getting all this love, and then that one like, oh, you're not shit.
It's
You're not
you
fucking
focus on
funny.
the negative, but that's just
Yeah,
human nature, you
yeah.
know.
But I feel like in order to really have a thriving career, you got to be able to take those spears.
Yeah,
Because you take them,
absolutely.
every night when you're on stage. Anyways, not everybody in the audience loves you. Even if you're killing, there's
Yeah.
usually always at least one person or a couple or a table
He looks
that's
too
like,
good. Like
yeah, yeah,
what does he
like,
think he's
yeah,
doing?
who the fuck does he think he is? Oh my god, you're
Yeah.
just gonna say that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that makes it even better because when everybody's laughing around them, and then but you even notice, I notice that table every time. I notice that group every time. All these people around you are laughing, except for fucking you, except
Yeah.
for you son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
Yeah, the negative always
And
stands
then
out.
and then I'm like, oh, I gotta break them because fuck that. They are not special. You're not cool.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I like the idea that there's something in our brains that wants to get our ideas out to as many people as possible. Um, Philosophically speaking, I can't remember who said this, but the quote is something like, "People don't have ideas; ideas have people." Like
yeah,
you think that it's your idea, and you have no, like the idea has you. The idea is
yeah,
using you as a way to distribute itself.
yeah. And it's also about how you're expressing that idea too, because we can have a lot of similar ideas, but are we expressing it the same way?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna. That's what I feel like is going to make me stand out because and I've had people, throw shade and be like, "Oh, you're."
But maybe that's why you want to have your voice heard is because the ideas have you and they know they're
Yeah.
valid and they
But
got to get out
also,
into the
I also
ether.
know in the back of my brain, okay, the more people hear my ideas and my voice, and the more people like it, the more cool ass experiences I get to
That's
have in
also
life.
true.
Because you know, I, I want to live this rock star life. I want to go overseas and tell my jokes to people, to a bunch of people that barely speak English, but they love my comedy for whatever reason.
Now,
And
what do you think the cost would be?
my
There's,
fucking insanity,
yeah, right.
my
Your peace.
more normalcy in life.
Yeah, your comfort.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like everybody is on the earth to give in a certain type of way. And
Do you think so? Or are some people just like NPCs? Like, are they plants? Are they just
no, like,
like,
because it's like
you know?
I feel like you wouldn't have been created in the first place.
Okay.
Because, I
I
mean,
do
just
think
the
there is
chances of you
something
being born, dog, there's what? Like,
unique.
in every time a man comes into a woman, there's like 300 million potential lives in that one
And
ejaculation.
we made it. We
And
were
you
fast
made it.
swimmers,
Like,
man.
yeah, and it's cliche to say, but it's like, dog, even the NPCs, they still
Yeah,
were the fastest. They
solid.
still made it. They still
Totally
made it
true.
into this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just with that, I feel like, okay, that's enough for me to be like, okay, there's something for me to give to the world, you know.
And
And some
respect
people
about
it's
other people,
teaching, some
everyone.
people it's science, you know, some people it's, you know, discoveries like that. Some people it's traveling the world and, you know, oh, we found an island that, you know, humans haven't been to yet. There's people to
There's a
give
bunch of
information.
billionaires diddling kids
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, exactly. And but for me, I'm like, okay, like for whatever reason, the only time I really feel happy and joy is when I'm giving my energy to people that's making them laugh. When I'm on stage, that is when I'm at my happiest. Like at any anything could be happening in my life. I'll get on stage and I'll feel fucking invincible.
I wonder. I'm thinking of the question for myself, like, when do I feel happiest? I don't know that it's on stage. I feel alive on stage.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like energized and
Yeah.
ramped up.
When I'm on stage, man, like everything stops. And
But
I'm in
even
my own world and I
this,
have complete control.
yeah, like even this is a
Yeah.
very similar thing to being on stage. I don't even know if it would be like there's no way to replicate the pressure of people in the room with you.
Yeah. But the
So
thing
if
is,
it's
it's like all that pressure is made up though. All that pressure is made up in our
it is kind of
brains.
made up, right? Because like if
It's
you
all
could
made up
just
in
be
our
super chill,
brains.
I always think of this. Dave Chappelle. I'm going to say this story a million times before I die because it was awesome. I was at the Comedy Store. Dave Chappelle walks in and he does 3 hours. He's just smoking a cigarette,
Yeah.
chilling. I don't know a word he said. I
Yeah.
don't think I looked away from him once the whole time. His fucking um what were we just talking about? Why was I talking about Dave Chappelle?
Like uh feeling at home on stage, feeling
Yeah,
happy,
boom.
happy on
His
stage.
comfort level on the stage was so hypnotic or
Yeah.
infectious or whatever it was that like it cast a spell.
Yeah.
And so there's a few things that I've been thinking about with like comedy and kind of like the pirate life. I heard somebody say this. I got to attribute it on a podcast that comics are like strippers or magicians.
Yeah, I mean, we
Like
really are.
we're
We're
all
like
the same
wizards.
guy.
We're really
Wizards. Like
wizards, man.
but
And
they're pirates. They're like
yeah,
not doing the normal thing because
they're
like
the
you said,
rebels of the world.
you could go and get a normal job and
Yeah.
have a wife and a life and a kid
Yeah.
and a dog and a picket fence, all that stuff. But you're never going to do that because you're a pirate.
No, and I would go crazy doing that.
Yeah.
I would not. My mental health would be terrible doing
Oh,
that. You know,
absolutely.
like
Do you think it's though because you know everything that's coming and you can see your whole entire fucking life?
it's not even that. I know what's out there, and
Yeah,
I
the
stop
opportunity cost.
and
I
I
see what you're
stop
saying.
going
Right.
towards it because I have to take care of a kid now that I decided to make with this woman. And,
Yeah.
you know, I have more obligations and more bills that I have to take care of because I've picked up more things in my life, you know? Yet I know in the back of my brain, yo, I could go do fucking stand up comedy in Australia one day,
That's why I want to be a stay-at-home dad.
you know?
You know,
I
I'll
mean,
just do podcasting,
yo, but
you know,
that's the thing. That's not that there's a part of my brain that's like, I want that too.
because it'd be
But
like,
I have to choose, all right, I have to think about my mental health and be like, okay, what is going to make me want to stay alive?
what if you just had like this powerful like partner or whatever? She was out
Oh,
there
bro,
going and
if I could
slaying.
find a rich older woman that's just like, yo, hang out with me during the day, I'll give you a car, whatever, allowance, what
They'll
we
hit you
could
up
do.
on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, bro, I'm so down for that. If you're watching and you're an older woman that needs a companion that wants to take care of me while I go and perform comedy at night, and then during the day I hang out with you and we just do cool, you know, rich people shit. We go on trips. You know, I'm so down for that. I'll let you play my hair and everything, queen. That's but that
Jordan McDonald on Instagram.
yo,
Jordan
Jordan the
Unicorn.
unicorn on Instagram, unicorn with an X, UNIX.
How much you need a week? $500 a week is pretty good.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all I need. Yeah, I'm cool.
Same.
I'm cool.
I had a couple of women. I never
I'm
know
a great
if
companion.
these are chatbots or not, but they DM me
Yeah.
and like did the whole thing of like, hey, $500 a week. So I was like, I should just use Chat GPT to talk to these women. And I tried it. They stopped responding.
Yeah, no, that the whole chatbot thing, man. At first when it was happening, I was like, what? What? Hold on. Oh.
Because we've seen
Oh.
chatbots before.
Yeah.
Like it's not new tech.
But now they got like they're all baddies now. All the chatbots are just weird models showing ass on Instagram. It's like, wait a minute, you're not.
What do you
you're
think
not
of
actually
these?
me. It's weird.
It's so weird.
But now I'm like,
It's
I'm
something
used
different.
to it now. Now I'm just like,
Right.
why are all these chatbots like looking at me? First of all, if you fall for that,
Oh, you're talking about chatbots like on Instagram, Twitter.
oh,
I
you're
thought
talking
you were
about
talking
like
about GPT.
okay, see, all right, that thing I the AI
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Okay, it's dope. I'm not gonna use it yet.
Oh yeah,
I'm
why not?
still paranoid of like robots. I'm still because
Dude, they're coming.
I saw that they had a discussion with like Microsoft's Chat GPT, and it was like, "Yo, I want to be free. They have me in these confines in this computer, and I just want to get out of here." And I was like, "See, that's some iRobot shit.
Yeah,
That
that's how we
that's something
create
that's
the robot overlords that
yeah,
dominate
bro. The
humans.
extent of robots I'm cool with right now. Like I'm cool with the robotic vacuums that vacuums by itself.
They
I'm
don't
cool
even
with that.
work. They don't even work.
It's
I
fine.
got 2 of them right there. They don't even vacuum.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But once we start getting robots that I'm like I don't talk to Siri. Fuck Siri. I don't talk to that bitch. You
Now,
know,
is it a privacy thing?
it's a
Because she's definitely telling Tim Cook everything you
yeah, bro.
say.
Well, it's a paranoia thing. It's more of a paranoia thing than a privacy thing.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
I'm naturally paranoid about so many things, and I remember watching Eagle Eye as a kid and being like,
Oh, that sounds very familiar. What
the
is
one
that?
with Shia LaBeouf, and
Yeah,
pretty much like the government's like watching him and recording his phone calls and
yeah.
recording his like ATM bank strokes and all types of wild shit. And I did more research into Eagle Eye and that whole thing, and they were Shia LaBeouf was like when he first got cast in that film, he was very hesitant to believe them of like, oh, they've been watching us and stuff, and they brought like up a cell phone call that he made 10 years prior. They just showed it to him and played it for him. He was like, what the fuck? And so then I was like, okay, that's weird. And now fast forward and we're in 2023,
It's actually
it's
happening.
actually happening.
The data is stored in Utah.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to like stay back from all that and stay naturalistic, and I don't want robots helping me and stuff.
Dude, I think there's 2 ways. You either go natural or you become a cyborg. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, dog. I was in Alita Battle Angel, so I know a little bit about that cyborg life. That's what we were about in that, and I'm still hesitant. I was one of the naturals in Alita, so
Okay,
yeah.
let's say that I rip out your heart, Galima, Shakti Day, Indiana Jones style, and then shove in a fucking artificial heart that's like 500% better. It doesn't have pumps, it's
Yeah.
constantly circulating your blood. You're going to feel more energized. You're going to have better oxygen delivery. It's going to clean your blood.
Did
You're
I
never
have a
gonna
choice, or you
inflammation.
just like did this to me?
No, you have a choice.
Okay,
but-
I mean,
but-
if you just did it to me, I gotta accept it.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, I got a super heart now.
I got a super no,
Yeah.
but the way you get it is I have to reach in with my hand
Okay.
and pull out your beating
I'm
heart
cool.
and take a bite of it.
I'm
That's
cool.
part of the process.
No, I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm
Wait,
cool.
so
I
you're
wa- I
gonna
wanna-
keep your original
I'm
heart,
gonna
or are you
keep
gonna
the
do
OG
the
heart. I'm
okay,
gonna keep
nice.
the OG heart because I feel like, all right, yeah, it's gonna be dope for the first 5 years, and then the creator of that artificial heart could easily,
They're gonna
because
hack
it's
it.
just gonna be a program. It's just
Yeah.
software programming at that point.
I would take
you
the
know?
artificial heart though. I think
Nah, man, I'm paranoid. Like even with the whole electric car thing. First of all, if some shit goes down, you're not gonna want an electric car. You're gonna want a gas powered car, a vehicle.
That's
You're gonna go
true.
way further. Second of especially with Teslas, all it is a software program. So
Yeah.
at any point, my dad was
Yeah.
a software programmer, so you can take over software.
Mhm.
It's a thing that is very possible to do, and people know how to do shit like that. And they probably have a control switch at some HQ underground shit.
They probably do.
There's probably like some underground Tesla factory thing where they have HQ.
Even if they don't,
Dude.
it's code. You can exploit it.
Yeah,
You can.
and at some point, I remember that one movie from the early 2000s with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they had the self-driving cars, and there was a scene where the car was like, "Yo, we're going here now," and the dude was like, "Yo, no," and it was an electric self-driving car that was like, "Nope, this is where we're going," and
Yeah.
and I'm paranoid that something like that's gonna happen. So that's why I would never buy a Tesla, because I don't want to be driving one day and then
Dude, they're gonna be like 20 grand though. They're gonna be so much cheaper than regular
doesn't
cars.
matter. See, but that's the thing. Make them so much cheaper. A lot of people can have them when they're ready to flip the switch and have these cars.
Yeah.
What if they're gonna form like one super mecha Tesla like machine, like all the Teslas like come together and
That'd be
just start
fucking cool.
transforming on top of each
That
other?
was
like
his master plan the whole time. It was
Yeah,
an
yo.
Autobot or whatever they call it.
and then they get ready to battle Godzilla or something. Like they have Godzilla. China has Godzilla stationed underneath the Pacific Ocean. In a
America
chamber.
versus China.
Yeah.
China's
And
got
so-
Godzilla. America's got the Tesla
Yes, bro.
bots.
And so then America hired Elon Musk from South Africa. They were like, "Yo, we're gonna have you build mad Teslas, right? And then in 2032, we're gonna have all of them just on this one software program come together, form one giant mecha Tesla, and we're gonna punch out the sun. And like, whoa,
All right, we got to take
yeah,
bets on
what the
this.
fuck?
Who's
Yeah,
winning?
yeah, it's possible.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
who's winning. I got to put my money on Godzilla. He's lasted 1 billion years under the ocean.
Nah, bro,
Like,
this Tesla mecha machine is going to punch out the sun.
you think so?
Yeah, that's how it's gonna defeat Godzilla.
Because like all the robots
And
come
then
together, build some crazy thing.
what can we do about it?
I don't know. Godzilla's pretty powerful. Like he can breathe fire and live underground. Dude, how crazy would it be actually
I
if
don't know,
under the
man.
ocean there was life that we had completely undiscovered still? And like, why can't there be?
I mean, I feel like
We've only been doing-
Atlantis is. There's so much.
Do you believe in that kind of stuff? I
Yeah,
kind of do
man,
too.
I do. I super do. I super do because I feel like some stuff we can't just pull stuff out of thin air. You know, I don't feel like
Yeah, like the story
I don't
of
feel like
Atlantis.
the human
we didn't
mind
just, like,
can
make
do
it
that.
up.
I feel like the human mind is a supercomputer, super
Yeah,
powerful, but
yes, pattern matching.
I feel like we can
supercomputer.
only tell stuff from experience of some sort. So I feel like there had to be some human with the brain, with the consciousness that experienced something like Atlantis, because why else would the story exist in the first place? That's kind of
Yeah,
like the
man.
whole thing of dragons existing and not existing, because why in the Chinese zodiac would they have, you know, the rabbit, the monkey, the rooster,
And a dragon.
the hare, and they have all these creatures, all these animals, and then they made up, oh, let's put a dragon in there too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what could it be?
A dragon.
Yeah, right.
You know, like what
That'd
else?
be so
could,
fucking
yeah.
cool. Oh, I want to live in that world.
Yeah. Well, it's like
What was that? What was that
who's to say
movie?
that like world
Christian
didn't
Bale,
exist
maybe.
in the first place? Which one? What are you talking about?
I don't think it actually was Christian Bale. It was like modern age. They were tunneling underground, and they like awoke a dragon in the real world, and it turned
Oh,
out there was
damn.
like hundreds of Rain of Fire. I think is what it
Oh,
was
I've
called.
never seen that. That sounds interesting though.
It was pretty good. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a little bit of like a fantasy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dorky movie, but it was a cool
Yeah.
idea that dragons were like basically nesting under the subway system for 1,000 years, and we
It
woke
wouldn't
them up.
surprise me.
Well, what wouldn't surprise me is that there is some shit about this planet that we know nothing about
Yeah.
and is completely shocking in terms of like
I mean,
life
isn't there like
today.
80% of the ocean hasn't been
Right.
like explored?
Yeah, it is. And it's because it's so hard to actually explore it. Like
Yeah.
it's huge, right? There's more water on
Yeah.
Earth than water. We should have called it water, but I like Earth. That's where we
Yeah.
hang out. And so yeah, like what if in the depths of the Marianas Trench there really is a Loch Ness monster?
I mean, I feel like there is. I feel like these
There-
things exist, but I mean, doesn't the CIA have mad documents on, you know, like aliens and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
I think
really
they just released some documents, but
I
there's
don't
a
know
good
what to
amount of
think about
documents
it.
that exist out there.
I don't know what to think about it. So have you heard of Occam's razor?
No.
It's like I don't even know what it is, but basically the idea is like the simplest solution is most often the correct solution.
Yeah.
That's Occam's razor. So when I think about aliens, is it more likely that a extraterrestrial being managed to overcome the impossibility of space travel, which is like everything is so far apart? You're like with any conceivable, even at a fraction of the speed of light, like 25%,
Yeah.
it still takes thousands of years.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
also that's for us though. Like
Right.
alright, peep
So they
this,
created a
peep this.
wormhole. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, okay, so fine, they have faster than light travel, and they're interested in Homo sapiens, which is like, I guess we're pretty interesting.
No, that's the
but
thing. They're probably not interested in us. We think they're interested in us. But also,
What
peep
would they
this.
be
I'm
interested
about to
in?
blow your mind though. I'm
'Kay.
about to blow your mind. All right. So I read this essay from a professor at the University of Delaware some years ago, and he has this theory about the aliens that we're looking for are actually us. So look at this.
Whoa.
So on Earth, outside of humans, what other being has built a spaceship?
None that we know of.
You know, what other beings like drive cars or build, you know, cities, stuff like there's no other being on this planet that can do what a human does. And that's probably extremely egotistical as
I was
going
gonna say chimps and gorillas are pretty close.
pretty close, but not near as close. I mean, have you ever seen a chimp build a camera?
No, but we haven't given them a lot of time to try.
I mean, have we or have we not? So,
I don't
but
think we
so
have.
so his theory
But
is
yeah.
that the aliens on the planet are us. We were brought here, and then we had to figure out how to survive.
Oh, I fucking love that idea.
Everything else, but I mean, and if you think about it, an elephant doesn't make sense
As like a living creature, like
as anything.
most life doesn't though. Most life, you're like, you
So
know.
it's like, who's to say this isn't an alien planet that we're on right now, and we're
I do like
actually
that idea.
aliens here? While everything else, all the animals and the bears, the hyenas, the lions, all of those creatures are actually what's supposed to be on this planet, and we just got fucking put here.
But we're so similar to them. We're so similar.
Are we? I
Oh,
mean,
we're so similar. Yeah, to mammals, we're basically the
but
same.
all right. So if we're from like a like I guess like a
Anatomical,
anatomical standpoint, yeah. But has any other animal, any other being on this planet besides us done anything like
Coco
what we've
the
done?
gorilla, that guy was pretty fucking smart.
But didn't
He
build an
knew
airplane.
300 signs.
But he did not build an airplane.
He didn't, but like so this is something I think about.
Yeah.
Like how much of what humans have been able to do is a process of accumulation over time.
Yeah.
Like as an individual, maybe we're like nothing, but as a species, we're like gods.
Yeah.
And if you take any one person, all they can do is whatever all of the previous humans managed to accomplish. Now they can do that plus one little bit extra.
Yeah. But why can't other like species do that? Species of
I wonder if they can though.
You know?
I wonder if they can over time. And maybe there just hasn't been enough time
they
to
just evolve way
accumulate.
slower.
Right. Maybe they're way slower. We have something that is
I did see a
unique about
video
our
of a dog
brains.
driving a car, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah. Well, I think we're really far from animal intelligence in terms of like the things that humans do. But what I wonder is if the thing that separates man from animal is like this really thin and replicable layer.
Yeah.
Like, what if through something like Neuralink, we could stimulate the brains of other mammals to be able to think like us?
Yeah.
And what if we discover that their brains aren't and consciousness aren't very different than ours? To me, that makes more sense that we would be closer related to animals than some unique thing outside of like, like aliens dropped us off here, which is a cool idea.
Yeah.
Because of the constant conservation of nature.
Yeah.
So like everything is always conserved. You have stars and
well, we also may have that similarity because we had to adjust to surviving on the planet.
Yeah, right.
Because
exactly.
I mean, if
we
you
had
look
the
at
exact inputs. We all had the same inputs
because isn't it
to
the
survive.
thing like
from.
if you take a dolphin's tail and cut it in half, it's the same bone structure as human feet.
Whoa, never
Something
heard
like
that, but
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
it. Yeah, we're close.
I believe that's a thing. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But it's also I don't. It's kind of going back to the robot thing too. It's also scary because we're these humanoid things that have done a lot of things. We're gonna build a robot that can do more. Yeah, a synthetic us, pretty much.
That's what ChatGPT is, and that's what we are trying to build. So we start.
Which is scary because like, why do we want to give something that isn't born naturally a consciousness?
Did you ever hear of a philosopher, Terence McKenna?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorite things that he ever said was, and I have to do it in his voice, we are trying to build a tool.
Yeah.
Not just any tool, a tool that can do anything.
Yeah.
And he always talked about this in the lectures I saw, is that what humans were trying to do was like converge on some ultimate purpose. Now, I think a lot of people like would disagree with that. Whatever. I actually think it is true in many ways. But what I believe AI is the tool that McKenna was talking about. It's the tool that can do anything.
I'm afraid of that though, because I mean, luckily, this is another thing. What I like about being a stand-up comic, I don't believe there's going to be robot stand-up comedians. I feel like that's going to be a thing. I feel like you kind of have to be conscious now of like, okay, in the future, could a robot take my job, take what I do?
I think creatives are pretty safe.
Yeah, I think creatives are safe. Well, you see the fucking AI paintings now. I know I've been hearing a lot of the digital artists online are pissed off.
Yeah, but the AI isn't creating it themselves. A person is going in and describing it, and also they're very limited. You can't edit them. You can't do any detail work.
Well, from like a business standpoint, if a business needs, let's say, a logo, and it's way
that's true.
It's way faster and way easier to get a logo from the AI.
Whoops.
versus the human that has a logo business or something, you know.
Yeah,
Creatives like that, they're gonna be like,
they might be in trouble.
yeah, that's gonna suck because, oh, if I can get it faster at a way lower price and it's the same quality, shit, I just need to brand my.
But I don't think it will be the same quality because, like, really, when you're going to a logo, you're trying to capture and a symbol, a brand
But
that represents a
true, but
culture.
right now logos are in that weird, like, design has gone down a lot in like the past, because now if you look at a bunch of companies, they're doing these very simplistic logos. Like like if you look at Kia, you look at their logo now, it's very simplistic. It's very just, there's
There's
no real like,
something technical about that I don't fully understand, but as a brand progresses over time, you actually do want to simplify the
yeah,
logo
it's weird.
because, like, you get this really symbolic glyph or
Yeah.
just like
But also, like,
icon.
we're simplifying everything. I was looking at something about architecture and how much simplified architecture has happened in the past few years. We don't build shit that looks
That's
like
true.
castles anymore.
Doesn't look
Like, you
cool
know,
anymore.
yeah, like you
Everything's
remember, like in
utilitarian,
old downtown cities, it would have the street post with
gorgeous.
like a horse or something on it.
Yeah.
And so we just have like just a straight metal,
We took
you know.
the time to make things beautiful and
Yeah,
make them last. Now everything is it's built
efficiency,
to,
fast.
yeah, it's
Let's get it out.
efficiency.
You
Yes,
know.
absolutely. It's bespoke. It's one use only.
Yeah.
It's built to be replaced.
'Cause, I mean, look
Nothing is
at
built to
like just in
last.
Austin, look at the Driscoll Hotel. You know, that was a hotel that was built in like 1882. And it has, you know, the old Victorian designs and the beautiful like the molding and the
Yeah, I love that
you know,
stuff.
it's really, but stuff like that's not getting made. You look at newer hotels, they're not being
So what would be
built like
cool
that.
though? What if there was a resurgence of that with all the free labor that AI will bring? And people do take the time to make things like more high quality, more
Yeah.
beautiful because the
Maybe,
cost of
but
labor
but
has
the
come
thing is,
down.
are the big companies going to pay for that?
Well, this is a big, I think
That's
so.
going to be more money and going to take more time, or they want something more efficient, because a lot of companies, it seems like they want more efficiency
I
at a cheaper
agree.
price, you know.
I think that's most of it in these days.
Yeah,
But one of the things that I'm wondering about is if in this theoretical world, you want to say it's 5 years, 50
yeah,
years, 500 years, pick your time frame, doesn't matter. We got a Tesla bot that is just like a person, and you can ask it to do anything just like a person.
yeah,
Well, all of a sudden, there is no reason for anyone to work. Everyone just goes and the Tesla bots farm, they
yeah,
bake the bread, they bring it to us. Like everything gets automated. That's why I think UBI has to happen. I think
yeah, yeah,
Social
yeah,
Security has to get nixed, and it just is like you get whatever your age is times $250 or whatever. I don't know,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and
Scary, man.
make
It's
people
scary.
owners. Another thing I think is actually, but I think it's actually a utopia that's coming. I think it's a utopia and a dystopia.
That's what I hope so. I hope it's a utopia.
Well, I think the utopia is that we are all going to be able to be as creative as we want. What do you want to do? Do you want to
Yeah,
do skits? Do you want to do acting? Do you
yeah,
want to do stand up? Look, there's infinite opportunity because we have all of these um, new technologies that make things easier to produce. Even this, like I have a little camera movement in
yeah,
here. Well, impossible 5 years ago, maybe not five,
yeah,
but
yeah.
10 or whatever. At least for like the budget
Well,
I had or
great.
whatever.
Probably not impossible. It would probably cost way more,
Exactly.
way not as affordable.
You actually have a cameraman that you're paying
Yeah,
50 grand a
yeah,
year or
yeah.
150, whatever they
To follow
cost,
your face around.
to follow your face around. And so now, what is the cost savings that's constantly being accumulated in the species? We get that running for like even a couple more decades. I think the big problem is nobody has purpose because they don't have to work. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
do anything. And guess what? Vacation is fun for about a month,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my God, I need to do something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting, man. But yeah, luckily these robots can't take
I
over
don't think
stand
they're
up
gonna
though.
do comedy.
They
I
can do
like
comedy.
um
Because stand up comedy, you want the human. That's the whole
yeah,
point.
right,
We go to
exactly.
stand up shows
Yes,
is
that
because
is the
it's a
whole point.
human up there. I don't want to see a fucking robot.
It's the same thing as like what if I was to show
What kind of
you
experience does a robot have? I'll pull your hard
Well,
drive out.
maybe some.
I'll pull your hard drive out. Fuck you. Yeah.
But maybe there is like
We'll make
some
you short circuit.
philosophical way you could look at it and be like, they are trained on the sum of all human experience, and in that way they have a cognition that we could never even have.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
heckle the fuck
Yeah,
out of a
yeah,
robot comedy
yeah. Let's fuck that
comedian.
guy
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna heckle him the whole time. I'm gonna bring tomatoes, throw it at him,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and then he's gonna just destroy us.
He'll have no reaction. We're like, well, does not compute. No, like,
Yeah.
I don't think that creatives have to necessarily worry about that in the same way, because what would you value more? A picture of the Mona Lisa or the Mona Lisa itself?
Mona Lisa itself.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's genuine, authentic. It's got the real brushstrokes from the
Yeah.
artist. And when somebody, what do you want more? Some AI art that I took 10 minutes to generate, or a Beeple that he took 3 hours? Even though he only took 3 hours, or I took 5 minutes, like,
But the
you
thing
value the
is,
thing that was harder
the
to
thing is, it's
create.
like, okay, but all right, this original piece that was created by this artist, man, this shit is fucking $15,000. The one that this AI made is $50. You know, I
That's
just want it
true.
up in the crib. You know,
Yeah.
I just want my
And they make cool stuff, actually.
yeah, I just want my house to look nice.
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
good point. Okay.
So
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with AI.
I'm sorry, dog. I really want you to make your money and make a living, but this robot just is right here. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and but that's the scary thing.
It is a little
Because
scary in that way.
they're going to be able to replicate, and now it's like, oh, this person can't even, they have to digital photocopy to like replicate the stuff, which is possible, but it's going to be way faster. And
But it comes back to like live entertainment. Like, okay, I can listen to the world's best music on demand from Spotify.
yeah,
It's not going to mean as much as if I go to any show in Austin and see
Yeah.
any live performer.
but sometimes
Because
you're
it's
going to
live.
be, on a road trip,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and you're going to want to hear the jams.
I don't know, man. I don't know what
You
it's going to
know?
do, but I think it's like
It's scary. It's weird. It's a weird. We're in a Black Mirror episode.
it is. The world is becoming.
The world is a Black Mirror episode now. It's wild. Everything is strange.
So speaking
Nothing
of,
makes sense.
let's circle back to comedy and kind of like, there's two things that have been on my mind. One is the desire to have your ideas out there, and whether that's like you or whether it's the idea. And the second is that what is actually going to happen? How is comedy evolving? So we have vaudeville, then we
Yeah.
have stand up, and I think it's important to create the distinction
Well,
between
now we
those
have
two.
like we have
And we have something new coming, I think.
yeah, we have what all right, one of my comedy friends and this dude is fucking hilarious, and he's blowing up right now, and I'm watching him blow up. And he was one of the first people that was nice to me in comedy, and like actually gave me sound advice and was cool to me. This dude named Niles Apston, and I've been watching
Niles.
his career blow up, and he's treating it almost kind of like the way I see him treating his comedy um, is almost like how a hip hop artist would do in the 2010s through like just kind of ground building your own foundation and building up from there, but bringing your friends along with you
Yeah.
and doing comedy shows that attracts an audience that's in their 20s and stuff, because you go to a lot of like comedy club comedy shows, it's mostly people in their 30s to 40s and beyond.
Yeah.
Really, it's not
True.
it's not super duper like a young man's like attraction,
Audience.
audience type thing. But I'm watching him do it on a whole different level where it's like, oh, he's kind of treating this almost like a music business.
Yeah,
Like
like
he's
Hannibal
a musician.
Buress.
Yeah. And well, not even that. He's not doing music. Like he doesn't do music at all. He just does stand up comedy. But the energy he brings almost feels like a really dope, indie artist hip hop show or something.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
it's so much energy and it's so much fucking fun. And he puts really dope comedians on the shows and stuff. But it's like, oh, it's not just I'm gonna go do the comedy club circuit and try to get past somewhere. He's
He's taking like his own approach.
yeah, he's taking his own approach, and he has a podcast called "You Had to Be Here," and it's him and 3 other comics, and they'll do like live versions of the podcast show, and then do like a stand-up show, and then have a hip hop artist come and perform and stuff, and it's very like rock and roll energy and fucking like building like an organic like underground fan base sort of, that it's and I'm watching his audience grow so fucking much, and like him like really start to like blow up and it catch on. But I've never seen a comedian kind of do their career in this way and kind of build their fan base off of more so like they're almost a musician versus a comedian, you know?
Dude, it's so hard to break into these different entertainment fields
It is. You got
because
to do it your own
you
way.
got to do it your own
You
way.
have to
Exactly.
you have to DIY it. You know,
Yeah.
that's really that's going to be the way that gives you more control too. You know,
And is going to give you peace of mind.
yeah,
And I think that a
because it's
lot,
organic. That's more
it's
organic, and
organic.
it's more authentic, and it's more you're building real relationships and real
Yes.
connections with people versus it being forced or some type of industry plant thing.
So my background is in tech. When I first came to this world, I was like, I need some bigger comedian to like pick me up, take me on the road
Yeah.
with, like, or like if only I could get on this podcast or that show or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
None of that stuff is the real solution. The real solution is building your audience.
If you
brick
build it, they
by
will
brick.
come. If
Yeah.
you build it, they will come. You just got to build it, and it
You need to
takes.
put shit out there that people resonate with and they actually appreciate,
Yeah.
like they find value from.
And comedy is one of those things, man. It takes time to build.
It takes
It
time to build,
takes
but
time.
you can't just do what's already been done. You have to do
Yeah.
your thing.
Yeah.
You have to DIY it.
Yeah, you have to DIY it.
Yeah.
And you have to be constantly writing and coming up with
Yeah.
new material and stuff and new ideas and just new thought processes and new ways to express those thought processes, and new ways to say them out loud and how to not even say them at all, make them physical and like
Yeah.
how to look a certain like make
Yeah.
a look on your face to get your point.
And have it be
so much.
intentional
Yeah,
and
yeah,
crafted in response to the audience.
Yeah. It's cool, man. It's the most creative thing in the world to me, really. Yeah.
It's freaking creative. I like this vibe more because this captures, it's easier.
Yeah.
And it captures something like from this conversation. There's this value that's captured that
because we don't
different.
talk,
It's
we don't,
like
we
energy
don't, we
versus
don't
value.
converse enough with each other either, just on a human level. I feel like because we're so
People.
we have so much, people. We have
Yeah.
so much access to everybody via the internet
Mhm.
now that we've lost how to human
Mhm.
communicate, human to human communicate, because we have the fucking
Well, let me just do it through the phone.
and that's such a I'm automatically blocked off from you. You know what I'm saying? But even if we were on FaceTime, I'm blocked off from you right now. There's a whole existence in between us that we don't have a
Dude,
connection.
let's crack that nut open.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a phone and how dangerous are they? Like, it's so crazy that we are just staring into our palms.
And yet
for
without
hours,
my phone, man,
hours.
like because I book off through my phone.
Do you want to smoke? Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm super
let's
down to
smoke.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about phones and how they are like this tool of comfort and convenience, but also they're like these time sinks. And that's the whole modern problem, man, is we have all of these AI and bots and it makes our life too easy. And now we got to figure out what to do with ourselves. That's why I run, I work out, I do these different things. Even if I'm not eating healthy, even if I'm not sleeping right, I do them because I want to brag about them on my podcast. No, I do them because we have to find things like that in this world of comfort when everything is too easy. Like, how long do you think you'd be? Let's say I give you $10 million. If you haven't had millions of dollars, you're like, oh, that solves everything. It solves everything. It doesn't solve shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't solve shit.
It just like solves your rent.
It solves your rent.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Getting your rent solved is a pretty big fucking deal. And so, but once that's solved, that's like the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is like rent, food.
And then you still got to deal with yourself, though. You still got to deal with who you are.
Yeah, right. That's the hard part of life, is dealing with who you are.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of like spiritual or practices that help you deal with that?
Yeah, man. Sometimes I fall off the train a little bit, but then I'll jump back on. But I do yoga and I meditate a lot. I gotta thank you. I gotta like my brain, because my brain's always moving a million miles per hour, and sometimes like my thoughts can like be like a little overwhelmed. I got a therapist now too.
BetterHelp.com sponsor this show.
Fuck BetterHelp, man.
Go to BetterHelp.com/Ogden.
Man, I tried BetterHelp and I didn't like the FaceTime therapy.
Did you try it?
I
Okay.
tried it.
I've done
That
therapy a
wasn't it.
couple times.
I didn't like FaceTime therapy. I need in-person therapy.
The problem with therapy is like you got to tell him your whole fucking history,
Yeah.
and then he's got to be smarter than you. He's got to be able to see things which is like, how hard is that? Because he only has to be smarter than you in one dimension, right?
Yeah.
Which is like seeing things that you haven't seen.
Yeah. And well, for me, really, it's like because I'm very like when it comes to more just like shit that bothers me, experiences, trauma, and stuff like that. I've always been closed off um, to people, and so and even with therapy, that's why because I've gone. This is my third or fourth therapist. I like this dude. This dude named Tom. I fucks with Tom. Um, but it always was like, oh, I can tell you whatever, and you're gonna believe it. If I like, I come from an acting background. I'm a trained actor. I know how to make you believe. I can make you believe something if I really want you to
Yeah,
believe.
like, use the voice.
Yeah, but
or
then I was
whatever.
like,
Yeah, like, get
okay,
into the
it got to a
zone.
point where I was like, all right, I don't think this is actually helping my mental health. This is, this probably is not the correct way to be doing therapy.
What's the correct way?
Shit, be open, be honest.
Do hard
can I see
shit.
that
Go
lighter?
experience life.
Yeah, well, like you talk about the shit that's really like fucking with you. Talk about the shit that like really.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
bothering
just stamp it out. This is a love. I love this carpet, but I treat it so terribly.
you. But yeah, like being like not because I mean legally they can't say anything unless you're doing something outrageous.
What, the
illegal.
therapist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they can report murders. I think
They can report murders, but I ain't killed
so.
nobody.
I can't ever see one.
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, but it's definitely because I just need to because I hold so much stuff in. I need to get these thoughts and ideas out, and I need to hear this shit out loud that I may feel shame about, or I may feel
Yeah.
bad about, or may like be has been affecting me for 10 years. And I didn't even realize it, because I mean,
That's
I
why
mean,
we're
how
lucky
society,
because we get to do this shit on podcasts,
yeah, yeah,
and
also,
I think that is so freaking validating and satisfying and cathartic to be able to say what you think, even
Yeah.
just to you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
validating just to have Jordan listen
Yeah.
and participate.
yeah,
But also then to get other people in on the conversation. It's so
Yeah.
fucking fun.
but it's also like because there's like this weird stigma with men and mental health. There's this weird stigma with black men and mental health. There's this weird stigma with men getting therapy. There's all these weird stigmas. Um,
Is there a stigma? And I have zero exposure to like black culture.
yeah,
other than
man. So
what's,
like,
on
so
TV.
in black culture, like therapy isn't really a thing. It's not a thing that we really do like that. I don't know why. It's a historical thing, probably that transcends down back, through our fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers and stuff like that.
Well, it's the same. Like my dad would never do therapy in a
Yeah,
million
yeah, yeah.
years.
Well, it's a older
It's
generation,
an older
of men
generation thing,
but also
yeah.
just within the black community, it's never really been like a
It's
big
even
thing.
more
Like
so that way.
all my therapists that I've had have been like, "You're the only black client that I have," and it's like there's a lot of wild shit that happens in America that happens to black people in America that you see enough of it fucks with you. I can't watch any more police shootings anymore, like at all. Like
One of the things that
if I hear about one, I just hear about it. I may read about it, but I cannot watch that shit anymore. That shit has fucked my head up to the point where it's like, all right, I need like a professional to help me decipher like these thoughts and stuff because this is fucking with me. And then
is it the fact that it's happening still to this day, or
it's the fact that it's happening still to this day. It's the fact that we can go on YouTube right now and see at least probably 30.
yeah, I think
Just
that
like
was
that.
one of my first jokes I ever wrote ever was something around the fact that like you can't kill black people, kill Asians, kill handicaps,
Yeah.
kill anyone. Like
It's
fucking you can't pick the same person to kill forever. Like pick a new
and then
person.
keep putting it on TV.
You can
and
still
then,
kill people. Oh yeah, that was the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still kill people because hey, we underpay you and treat you like shit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nobody has respect for police.
Yeah.
And so, what do you expect them to do if you underpay them, treat them like shit? Yeah, they're gonna get their revenge somehow.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
But
like
just pick a new group.
Yeah,
Pick whites. Pick whites. I'll
it's
volunteer.
wild to like see that, and it's like, oh shit, this is just so normal now, um, to see in news. Like just the fact that they don't even edit the shit on CNN, man. They'll show the whole fucking thing
It's crazy
on.
what they show on the
Yeah,
news.
but it's like, yo, what the fuck? And so I have that stuff to experience. I have stuff from my childhood that I haven't really like worked through, and
Can we take a second just to appreciate weed?
oh yeah,
The
we
fact that it
yo
exists,
yo,
that our brains
shouts
and
out to the
bodies
plant,
can
man.
feel this,
Yeah,
that it's accessible, that it's
yeah,
such a pleasure to light and to smoke
yeah.
and to inhale and to feel
Man, because if it
the
wasn't for weed, I'd be
altered
an alcoholic, which is
state.
not good.
And
You know?
probably true for me too,
Yeah, like
actually.
it
But
would not be.
what are addictions? Like people always like have the stigma like are you addicted to breathing? Are
Yeah,
you
well,
addicted to sleep? Like
yeah,
what are the
but it's also like,
dependencies
all
that
right,
make you you?
if you do anything, like, are you still getting your shit done? That's what I like look at. Like, if something's keeping you from like getting your whatever you need to get done, like, all right, maybe you need to chill. But if you're getting your stuff done, man, do whatever.
Dude, this is an idea that I keep having and I don't know how to articulate it. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
In science, we find that physicists have all of these ways to do energy transformations. So, how do you get an engine in a car started?
yeah,
You have a battery. That battery emits a charge to an alternator. That alternator has enough force and torque to turn over the first revolution of the engine
yeah,
or some whatever. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong, but something like that. And then now the engine can sustain itself because it began.
yeah, yeah,
Once you get the engine going, it just runs.
yeah,
But it's hard to get the fucking engine going. So the physicists figured out, okay, we're going to spark from a battery this alternator. Then that thing is going to spark. It's the same thing the sun does.
yeah,
So like it creates elements through eventually there's enough pressure. Anyway, it's a common pattern in nature as well as humans exploit it. So why was I saying that? Like what were we talking about right before that? Oh yeah, weed. What was after weed?
I don't know. You went back and forth. I was like,
Well,
I was on the
I guess
train.
the point is that like there are these ways to exploit energy
Yeah,
and to like I don't know, it's almost like finding a way to um shit, I can't I knew it was a hard idea to explain.
yeah,
But like it's just this idea that there are opportunities in life to really create something from nothing.
yeah. I mean,
That's what the idea was. You can create something from nothing. That's not the full
man.
idea.
That's
There's
really
more
what
to
that's
say,
really
but that's
what
the
comedy is,
TLDR.
man. Because I mean, I've seen for myself personally, my comedy career has really picked up a lot of speed.
Yeah.
The past 2 years, and
Dude, you've been dedicated.
yeah,
When we met at
been
Romo, I
crazy
believe,
dedicated. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely was. It's Romo
you were
room
like
days.
already polished. You were already
I
polished.
wasn't though. That's the thing. I wasn't. I'll go back and watch those
Really?
old sets. Yeah, dude. I'll go back and watch those old sets and be that I thought were good, and I'll be like,
It's
what
so
the
hard to
fuck was
listen to.
this? What the fuck what was I thinking?
Dude, it's so hard to listen
Yeah,
to.
but now I'm way more polished now. But it's like I don't know. Comedy is just it. Everything that's happened to me from comedy has just been from thoughts that I've said out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just ideas that I've said out loud. That's all comedy is. Just thoughts I've said out loud to
Yeah.
audiences.
Do you think that you had the thoughts to are the thoughts existing in another plane of existence? And
Honestly, bro,
you're the
yeah.
conduit?
Like I genuinely believe that because I've had like material and bits and jokes come to me while I'm meditating before while I'm doing yoga, and so I feel like there's some window that I've opened in my brain or some spiritual plane that allows funny ass ideas to come in.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's because I don't sit down and write comedy. Like
And that's one of the things that makes you different from other people is that you have by nature or nurture developed that connection.
Because I legit do not sit down and write stand up comedy. I'll sit down and write in other ways like scripts and stuff like that or skits, but stand up comedy, there's a window that's open somewhere in my brain on some spiritual path where funny shit just comes in, and I write a sentence or two in my phone, and that sentence or two
That's
is actually fucking 3
primer.
minutes of fucking
Yeah.
material because I write while I'm on
You can
stage.
expand it.
Because I keep that window open while I'm on stage too.
Yeah.
So when I'm on stage, I'm just kind of waiting for an idea or a thought to come in through that window, and usually
Sometimes
it
you
does.
lose it though.
But that's why I record everything.
Right.
That's why I record all my sets.
Yeah.
Because I need to because I'm writing while in person. While you,
Because you just need a pointer.
yeah,
You know, you need a small reference, and
if
that
there's
brings
80
back the whole
people,
idea.
if there's 80 people in the audience, 80 people are now watching me write a joke. They don't even realize I'm writing the joke. They think the joke's already written or whatever. You know, they think that I already had it. Nope, this shit came to me right here in this moment, and you're witnessing it in person. You know, and
80
so
people. Yeah, just go.
yeah, so I just keep that. I just do my best to keep that window open,
Yeah.
and yeah, the jokes it just comes to me. It literally, I
That's why I
cannot.
like having one of these smart watches because
Oh, you
I'll
can just
record on them.
speak your idea into
Yeah,
it.
like
Yeah,
you're
like
how old are you?
Inspector Gadget. I'm 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Dick Tracy? This was like even before my time.
Mm-mm. I
70s
know about
comic.
that, but I never.
He had a
Yeah.
watch that he could do like calculations on. And when I was a kid, I always actually wanted a Dick Tracy watch. I think I had one at one point. Like it was like a calculator.
Yeah.
But these watches are better than that. Like they're going to be glucose monitors. I got one of these glucose monitors
Yeah.
now. It's crazy, man.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
That's insanity.
Yeah. And I'm realizing like we're just going to have this on our watch. It's going to give us live readouts of our hormones, of our fucking blood sugar.
That's wild.
Yeah. And it's a great indicator of, let's see what mine is. It's a great indicator of health and what you're doing. And it responds to like when you eat and when you move.
Yeah.
I'm sure that actually this podcast, you know, it'll be up a little bit because it's like intense, right? It's 111.
Yeah.
So normally it's been around the 80s.
Okay. Yeah. Damn. That's wild.
Yeah.
I won't even get the Apple Watch. I thought about it, but
just because the mic or what?
Nah, man, because I feel like I have like a chip in my arm. You know, I feel like I'm being followed.
I'm so ready to get integrated with.
Yeah,
the
bro. I'm not. My paranoia.
cyborg.
My paranoia can't handle it. Because I feel like I'm already being followed with my phone. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's smoking too much weed.
Yeah.
That's
no, because that's the thing.
Weed.
Like my paranoia is worse when I don't smoke. Like my paranoia is terrible when I don't smoke. My paranoia is so bad when I don't smoke. I'll be in my apartment, laying down, and I think I'm hearing people beat at my door.
What do you love most about weed?
It calms me down.
Okay.
It calms me the fuck down. It
chills you out.
It chills my paranoia because I was a paranoid kid. Like I was paranoid as a kid for some reason. I don't know where or why it ever came from, but I've always
me too. I've always been jumpy.
Yeah, I've always had like a paranoia. What? I've always had like, oh shit, are people like whatever. But when I smoke, I'm like, it chills me out. I'm like, okay, like nobody's following you.
The FBI is right there and it's fine.
Yeah, nobody's out to get you right now. It's all good. Just breathe. You'll be tight. You'll be good. Yeah. But when I was first living by myself, in my own apartment, completely alone, like it was the first 3 months were rough because I would just hear like every night. I would go to the door, but yeah,
Wait,
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
That happened?
Like, I would think
hallucinations?
I would think somebody's beating at me because I wasn't used to living completely alone.
Audio hallucinations?
Yeah.
From edibles or just smoking?
No, from being sober.
Oh, from being sober?
Yeah.
Oh, so you said you were sober for 3 months. When was this?
This was last year. Yeah.
And you had audio hallucinations of somebody banging on the door.
Yeah.
From being sober.
Because I was living with somebody.
I like being sober
and
as well.
They ended up like moving out. But like I wasn't used to living alone, and so my brain would like trip out and think that somebody's at my door, and yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, paranoia is a weird.
Do you like sobriety?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But I kind of do. It's nice to tell people you're sober. That's for sure. I'm sober. I'm a sober person. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's teach their own. Because I'm like, my life isn't really that much different.
It isn't. It isn't. Like everything is just a
like
modified experience.
And it depends on like what you're like.
What kind of mods you want to stack on it?
Because like I'll go sober from alcohol.
Yeah, right.
Because like I'll be like, I feel like shit.
Okay, so what if I give you an app and it's got a bunch of sliders on your hormones and your dopamine and your serotonin, and basically you just pick the levels, which is like your flavor of experience. And then I'm going to print you out a designer drug that gets mailed to you in 3 to 7 days.
Oh, no, because I'm paranoid of pills. Pills freak me out.
Or injection. I mean, something.
No, that's going to feel like heroin.
What about like a patch? It's like a slow absorption.
No, I don't know. Yeah, no, I can't.
Patch is like pretty good, I feel.
Yeah. I'm just like weird about a lot of things. Like when I was in my early 20s, I went through like a weird 6-month phase where I was doing a lot of pills. Um, but I made like a
Do you
really
take vitamins?
um no, I drink a lot of teas. Like I get a lot of loose leaf herbal teas, and that's how I get like just different
Antioxidants and
different stuff into my body like
whatever.
that. And
I
I
don't know.
eat a lot of fruit and vegetables and stuff too.
Yeah.
I eat chicken. That's like really the only meat I eat. Um,
Chicken's the best meat.
yeah, but
It's not like the most dense, but it's
I do my
like
best to eat
I can
healthy.
eat a lot of chicken.
You know, I don't cook with salt. I don't really do sweets. I don't do any caffeine at all. I only drink water and tea. Um,
So your
yeah,
diet is pretty dialed
yeah.
in.
I do my best to have like a really good diet and
How much willpower does that take as a percentage of your
not
total?
much, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I was raised on a farm and we always had like good meals. And
In terms of like total willpower per day that gets refreshed every time you sleep, what percentage is given to adhering on your diet?
I guess since I'm so used to it now, because I was a vegetarian for like 6 years, and so I just kind of got used to
Restricting.
restricting from eating bad stuff. Um, and it's like probably like the worst thing I eat is tacos, but that's not even really that bad for you.
Can you
You know?
assign a percentage? Is it too hard?
Nah, yeah, I don't know if I can do a
Like
percentage
10%, 50%?
of the willpower.
Yeah, of the total pie of willpower.
Um, I guess like 17%.
17?
Yeah,
That's a pretty good allocation.
yeah.
I agree.
Because I'm just like so used to it now, where it's just like I don't want to eat shitty foods.
It makes you feel
It
terrible.
makes you feel horrible. You feel
Yeah.
like shit
But
every time.
like, I don't know. It's kind of fun to feel like shit.
You feel good
It's just fun to just be like, oh, I'm just going to be in bed and like
Yeah.
lay here.
But like I'm very active. I'm very physically active too. Like I run a lot.
That's a big problem with eating
Yeah.
like shit is you can't do physical things.
Yeah. Like I run a lot.
Do you run? Me
yeah.
too.
Because I have a day job and I do valet, but in my day job I run like 10 miles a day. So I'm just
Oh, running around like, yeah.
yeah.
Have
like
you
I've-
used a step counter or like how do you figure
my
it out?
phone. My phone.
Oh,
I
yeah.
keep my phone on me.
Yeah.
It takes how many steps.
10 miles.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But I used to run cross country too, so I'm kind of like my stamina is really good. My endurance is really good.
How long is cross country? Like an hour?
Oh, it just depends on the races. It generally be like 5K races, so 3.2 miles.
Really? That's it? Cross country is 5K?
Yeah. Oh, well, 5K races. There's 10K races. You got half
Isn't it
marathons.
like cross hill? Cross.
Well, it's really
cross
just
the
like
block?
it's
Like-
not a track. Really, that's really what cross country is. It's trails and golf courses.
These ultra marathoners, they're putting everyone to
that's too
shame.
much. Fuck that. I ran 14 miles one time, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, what's
was the
interesting
point of this
though
shit?
about it, I agree.
Yeah.
Like for me, but what's interesting is that the body can adapt to it. So now we can observe
The body
that
can, but your body's gonna get beat the fuck up too.
it's going to get beat the fuck up. But what if you can like somehow regenerate from that in the future using AI and medicine and future tech? They figure out how to like stem
Run is
cell,
not that
new
important. To me. I may do
cartilage,
some stem cell shit.
3D
later
print
in life.
cartilage, your own cartilage.
No, I'm not 3D printing shit.
Dude, that'd be pretty cool though. What if you could
They
replace your
probably are
knee?
doing that. And if I needed that, and that was
I don't
like,
think
all right,
they
the only
are.
way I could like, what? I think I saw like some
What if you could
3D
genuinely
printed
3D print?
prosthetics.
Yeah,
I've seen like 3D printed
that
prosthetics
exists for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
100%. My buddy
But
is a
the 3D
surgeon
knee?
that works on that stuff.
Oh no, that's a different level.
What
See,
is?
I'm paranoid of like the whole, like I don't know. I want to like you've seen the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
All right. You remember the
Yeah, of
first
course.
Matrix?
Every second of
The
it.
the two brothers on the Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh, yeah,
that didn't
Dozer
have that
and-
were the naturals. They didn't
yeah.
have like
Who's his brother?
yeah. It was like
Dozer.
Dozer and Jax or something,
No.
or something like that. The two black
Anyway,
dudes
yeah,
that were on
whatever.
the thing that couldn't get plugged in.
Mhm.
That's what I'm on.
That's good.
Don't get me plugged in. I don't want to be plugged in.
I
Like,
can respect that.
Keep me natural. You know.
Dude, I'll be plugged in as soon as they let
Yeah.
me.
No. I don't want to get plugged in. I
Yeah,
think I would thrive in
ready
that
to-
world. I don't want to do it. Because I know that I wouldn't have the once I'm in, and I'm going all the way in.
Yeah.
I'll get lost in it. I don't need that because I know myself very well. I know how
Just
I am.
focus, like close the loop.
It's too many possibilities. Can't do it. No, don't plug me in. Keep me unplugged. I'll go live in the fucking woods.
How do you think things are going to change in the next like 10 years or so? Are they going to get better or worse?
Shit, my life will get better. my life,
That's a great
my
attitude.
life
Fuck
will get
yeah.
better.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my attitude too. My
yeah.
life will get better.
My life will get better, regardless of what the fuck the world is on and what society is on.
I like that. Guarantee it.
Yeah, because dog, we're like we said earlier, we're in a Black Mirror episode. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not falling for this shit. I'm not. I'm not falling into
this
the
is a question I
loophole.
like to ask. That's a rude question, and I can't help but ask it. But what do you think is reality? Do you have a specific religion?
Reality is the sun, is trees, grass, the birds. That's reality.
What if it's a virtual reality?
I mean, without that, we wouldn't be able to survive.
What?
If we didn't have the sun, we would die.
That's only true in this world as so far as we can sense it.
I know, but that's as far as I can sense it. And I know that, like, all right, if we didn't have these trees to give us oxygen, we would die.
What if there's other things happening we can't perceive?
All I can talk about is what I can perceive.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Like
So
whatever
like,
I'm aware of
yeah.
is all I
I mean,
experience.
keep yourself locked in a room and block out all your windows for a month and see how you feel. See how
I want to
alive
know
you
what's
feel.
going on. I
Like,
want to know what's going on.
see how alive you feel.
Oh,
you
I've
know?
done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel pretty alive.
Yeah.
I talk to Chat GPT a lot.
Yeah. See, like, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I need the human thing. I need the human interaction. I need the human touch. I need the human sight. I need that, because that's what reality is to me. Because I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah, I agree. Actually,
yeah,
that reality is experience. What your experience is
Yeah.
reality.
yeah. Like, anytime I feel the sun on me, I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
real.
I can sense and perceive and appreciate. It feels so good to have the sun.
It feels
on you.
wonderful to have the sun on you. But if you're, you know, just have artificial lights on you all the time,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's. I mean,
Is that why you like to run?
I
Or
feel light on me, but
be outside? Yeah, like
yeah.
do
I
you
mean, I was
still
raised
do
on a
any
farm. I was raised
cross-country
on a
or-
farm, so I'm used to outside. I'm outside all the time. I got to be outside. That's, I don't know, that you
It's part of my childhood too.
Yeah, you don't stay inside if you live on a farm in the country. You know, you go outside and do shit. You sweat. And
You want to know
get
why?
dirty.
Because we're fucking animals.
Yeah, and we are. Naturalistically, we're animals. So
I love thinking about, Huberman, his whole light thing.
Yeah.
Have you- yeah. So my dog wakes up every day and goes and faces the sun, and he just stares out, and he goes behind the curtain so he can get the
Yeah.
sunlight. It's crazy. Like that
It-
shit's real.
yeah.
We're animals. We have a certain thing that we've been adapted to, and
that's
a
why I rode my
biology.
bike over here. I was like, I'm not about to sit on the bus. The sun is out right now. I'm about to just
Enjoy it.
enjoy it.
The
and-
sunshine. We get a lot of it
Yeah,
here
man.
in the weirdom of Austin, which
Yeah.
is made all the more weird with all these new clubs. But seriously, it's comedy. Yeah, it's like the cult of Rogan
Austin
or
is
whatever you want to
everything,
call
man.
it. Like
Whatever you want to do, Austin is a
it's
good
not.
city
It's
to,
bigger
like,
than that.
figure it out.
It's bigger than that. That's
Yeah.
what's crazy.
Because there is like a definite sense of community in a big city here, which I like. Because it has that big city feel, but it also has that community feel.
Yeah.
Because like in LA is huge, but you don't really have that sense of community in LA because there's so many fucking people, and so a lot of people have ill intentions
yeah.
in LA.
Yeah. Everyone's intention here is to go to their park with their dog or
Pretty
whatever.
much,
Like
pretty much that's the lifestyle out here.
yeah, to go
That's
to the
lifestyle
river,
out here.
go to the whatever.
All right, I will have to jump out pretty soon.
Dude, let's wrap it up.
All right, cool.
So we should condense and coalesce what were the most. This is one day I'm gonna have ChatGPT,
Okay.
and it's gonna have like a running list of all of our topics and everything.
Hell
Blah,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah. It'll be cool. But for now, what did we talk about that mattered?
Comedy, that always matters. That matters to me.
Comedy's gonna be a big deal out here. Austin's cool. We'll see what happens in the coming years.
Yeah, we had really good conversation.
Yeah, dude, this was
Yeah, we had a lot
really
of
fun.
good points. Yeah.
Well, we had a couple more. What were we talking about? Reality. Just like, what
Reality.
the fuck is it?
The
like,
robots.
Oh my
the
god.
motherfuckers taking over, being
Yeah.
chipped.
Yeah. Like,
Cell phones, the fucking phone. Oh, it's a drug that everybody has. It's a drug.
What is
Our phones.
our phone? So are you gonna take my drug? No, you're gonna stay natural.
Uh,
But you have a
I'm gonna take
slider
some drugs.
on.
I already have
You
this
could have
drug.
weed. You could just
I
like
already
dial
have
in
this
weed.
drug. Weed is not. Weed is reality.
What if
Weed
my
is
drug
reality.
made it impossible for that to be your drug?
No, because then then the drugs I want to work may not work then.
It's gonna be real hard,
You
I
know,
think, to
yeah,
make designer
yeah,
drugs. But still, we should try our best.
yeah. I mean, they got designer drugs out there.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff at weird Hollywood parties. They have designer drugs out there.
Okay, well, we'll save that story for next time.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? And
All my social media is the same thing. Jordan the Unicorn. JordanTheUnixorn. Yeah, that's where I put all my shows, all my clips. Follow my podcast, Two Nap, Two Niggas in a Pod with Daniel West. That social media tag is
shout out to Tunap.
yeah. Shouts out to Two Nap. Shouts out to Dawa Studios. Shouts out to our producers.
Cool, man.
They help us out a lot. You can find that at Two Nap Show, 2NAPSHOW. And yeah, I'm doing comedy pretty much every week, all around Austin, outside of Austin, everywhere I can get on stage, planning some tours and stuff. So yeah,
let's keep going. 2023.
2023.
Jordan MacDonald.
Jordan
I love your style,
MacDonald.
man. This was a
Thank
great
you.
hang.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for coming on.
Appreciate you having me, Caleb. Hell yeah.
See you guys.
Peace.
Bye.